Hello my lovelies, Rob here from Kickback Garage. Right, today we're going to be looking at my newly plated Lambretta RT240 cylinder. If that's something you're interested in, grab yourself a coffee. I'll see you after the intro. Here we have the cylinder. Before we have a look at this, if you haven't seen the video where Scott visits the Lancourt plating place, then go and do that and then come back here again. It's really interesting, that video. Right, let's have a look. Very nicely packed. I actually saw that the boys at Shetune, they just had a barrel replated, and I saw that they packed it with like some foam stuff. Looks really nice, and it's really secure in there. And this is the piston that I sent with it. That looks really nice. So here is my piston and cylinder. The cylinder looks really nice in there. But what I want to do before we have a look, I'm going to tell you how you prep your cylinder before you send it off to the platers, why I chose Lancourt, lots of different stuff. But first I want to go very quickly through what Lancourt did. And I also want to say that it is not, even though I'm going to call it nikasil, its real name is nickel silicon carbide electroplated. The reason why we call it nikasil is because nikasil is a trademark, basically. So someone's had a patent on that, but I think it's the same. And they all have their special juice ingredients to get that to work best. And one of the reasons why I chose to use Lancourt, not just because it was just at the side of where Scott from Cobweb Garage lives, but because they are known to be one of the best in the business. I think most people in the UK, if they do not get their cylinders iron lined, which I've done in the past, I think was it PJ Engineering who did an iron liner, nikasil really is the way to go. The advantage of the iron liner, which I have done in the past, what they do is they press in an iron or a liner in the bore. It means that you keep the cooling properties of your barrel, but you get the iron liner. So if you seize it, if you're a plonker and you seize it, or you have problems with the bore, you can actually bore them up. That is sort of the advantage of that, whereas nikasil, when it's knackered, it's knackered. But on the other hand, as Geoff said at Lancourt's, nikasil is will wear indefinitely. When you are sending your cylinder off to get sorted, then you don't really need to clean it up that much. I didn't. Mine looks sort of like this. If you do a comparison, this is my reed. It may have been a little bit cleaner because this was the top end, but it wasn't immaculate like it is here. But what they are interested in is not having any studs. So to help them through the process, take out the studs and the reed and whatever you might have on there, the bolts, studs, everything. And then that should mean that you can keep the replating to a basic cost like mine did. And incidentally, mine cost me for the whole process 190 UK pounds, and I think that was pretty good because that does include express, by the way, express postage from the UK, which is probably at least 40 quid, I would imagine, for something like this. I haven't really looked at the invoice properly. Maybe I should do that. And if you're going to buy a cylinder kit from Mark Broadhurst with the reed valve, you're looking at, I think it charges somewhere between 800 and 1100. So you do save money on repairing, if they're able to do that, repairing your old cylinder. So I'm just going to very quickly run you through the process and he sent me some nice pictures here, so I'll throw those up as well. Yeah, I want to use them. He's made the effort. Geoff has made the effort making these notes for me, so we'll use those. He says the first thing that they do is when they receive the piston and the barrel, they mark them. We've got this number on the top here, and they also have the number on the barrel there, and that's basically because then all the bits that so they don't lose parts and end up using the wrong piston. The first thing they do is blast them clean, and the old coating, they remove that. It's by reverse electrolysis. So obviously they put this in some sort of bath. They add some electricity, and that should dissolve the old nikasil lining. And then once they've done that, they hone the bore to ensure that the bore is straight. Once they've done that, then they reline it. And if you look in the picture here, right, I'll put a picture up here. Notice that the plating isn't absolutely smooth, and that is built up more on the sharp areas than on other places, says Geoff. You can see that here pretty clearly. The cylinder is then blasted, so it looks really nice again. Next picture of the ports. If you have a look here, you'll see that the build-ups around the ports, etc., have now been ground away to protect our honing diamonds in the later operation. So nikasil is really, really hard. So I think they actually go in there with a grinder, and I'm just imagining they do. I didn't see that happen, but they definitely take away these lumps here before they put it in the honing machine. Next picture. Here you see the bore has had its first roughing, hone, and is close to finished size. So obviously in the sizing process. Next picture I got off Geoff. This is now finished to the correct bore diameter, and there is now just some minor finishing work to do. And the last picture, I can actually just show you my beautiful cylinder. It says it's ready to ship out to the customer, and they use that foam on their box so that they're not damaged in transit. I'll just give you a quick look at the bore. It looks really, really nice. Now, if you saw the video when I took off, or if you haven't seen it, go and see that after this. Don't go now. But if you look at the video, I actually showed around the ports, and especially here around the intake manifold ports, there were some deep grooves in the nikasil. Now, the reason for that, says Geoff, is this. What Geoff says is the reason why I've got those deep grooves is that once the piston starts to wear and you get a little bit of rocking movement, what happens is that, especially around the ports or top and bottom dead center, the piston will rock and it will actually dig into the nikasil coating on the barrel. And that is caused by excessive wear on the piston. And obviously, if you use a filter, which I do not, but I am going to, then you can run these things indefinitely, almost. What I think I'll do this time around is, apart from use a filter, if you've got a favourite filter, I have got two. I've got the Marchild, and I have got that I've bought in already, and I've got the Chisel Speed panel filter. If you've got any favourites that don't mean you have to mess around a lot with the jetting, then write it down in the comments below, and I'll see if I can buy those as well, because I want to do in the spring, when I get these motors up and running, I want to do a proper filter test. Going to go through all the filters and see which one I land on in the end. But what I think I'll do is, if I use a filter, then I think actually I could get away with like every 15,000 kilometers, which is for me is about 2 years use. I could just simply change both the piston and the rings. And if I keep ahead on the filter cleaning, then I imagine I could get probably twice as much life out of that cylinder. Interesting. We'll give that a go, I think. One thing I think is a little bit odd is if you remember when I built the SST Casa Performance SST engine to Auden, then they do actually have recommendations on when you should change your piston rings and stuff like that. But that's going to be a bit more extreme because it's a much more higher revving motor than both the RT and probably a TS1 as well, and the sledgehammer when that comes. Right, before I go, I want to show you how I prep a newly nikasiled cylinder or a brand new nikasil cylinder, wherever it comes from. This is what I do, and the reason why I do this is because back in the day when I built a couple of motocross engines, this is how I was recommended to do it, and I've done it ever since, and it seems to be fine. What we do in the motocross world is WD-40, spray that down the barrel, and wipe it through. Give it a thorough clean with WD-40, because I imagine maybe from Lancourts they have taken off all the residue in the barrel, but you will find that on new cylinders, if you do this and you give it a good clean with WD-40, this is actually one of the best I've ever seen. There is a tiny little bit of residue in the bore, but if you grab yourself a new TS1 or Mugello or whatever it's going to be, and you do the same with that, it's going to be quite black, I promise you. So all this means basically is that it's been properly cleaned up before Lancourts sent it out. But I'm going to do that once more, because what I'm looking for is, once all this grey residue has vanished after a clean, that means it's ready to fit. Obviously, just check that you haven't got anything in the ports and stuff like that. I mean, anybody can be unlucky. Just blow through them with air. Right. Yeah, that's clean already. I think that's got to be the cleanest barrel I've ever had. Just looks so nice, so nice. They've done a great job of it. I'm really looking forward to getting this up and running again, if I use it. I'll talk about that in the next video, I think. Before I go, I just want to say a big thank you to Scott at the Cobweb Garage, and a big thank you to Geoff and all the folks there at Lancourt. If you want your barrel relined with nikasil, then if you live in the UK, then Lancourt is a no-brainer. Really good service, and actually, I'm amazed at the turnaround. Here in Norway with the postage, I haven't been without a barrel for more than a couple of weeks. I was actually a little bit worried that wouldn't come before the start of the season. So absolutely no worries whatsoever. Chapeau, as we say. So don't forget, if you like this kind of stuff, give me the old thumbs up and do the old subscribe. Run over to Cobweb Garage, do the same. We were actually talking about doing a podcast together, talking about technical stuff, personal stuff, all sorts of stuff, because he had such a good chinwag when I talked to him while he was at Lancourts. It was, what a nice guy. Really nice to not meet him in person, but you know what I mean. So I will love you and leave you, and I'll see you all in the next one. Ta-ra!